Hello and welcome to another video. Today I have this Chechirp box. This is an AI-powered adventure device. Essentially, this is for kids who want to be in control of their own stories. So you have some stories loaded in here, but every so often there are prompts for your kids to be involved in the story. So they're actually listening and interacting, and they can guide the story in whichever direction they want just by talking into the device. It's actually been pretty fun for me to play with, so I'm sure it's going to be a blast for my child to play with as well. So you do want your child to be at least 3 to 4 years of age in order to understand how to operate it, but once they get the hang of it, it's pretty easy. So to turn it on, there's a power button on here. You just press and hold the power button to turn it on. And then you can see immediately that the screen comes on, and there's a preloaded story. So for example, if you want to use the cards and you don't want to use the app, that's fine. It does come with a starter pack of stories, so you can insert the card, and then welcome to Nada Hotel. As you can see, hotel manager of this animal hotel, and your job is to make sure every guest has a wonderful night. And so you can go ahead and start playing with this story. So it'll actually ask you to select that first story, or you can move over to the next one. And so as you can see, you can there's tons of stories already loaded into this card that you can interact with. Actually, I recommend using the app, because on the app there are tons of stories. So if you it's called the My Chechirp app. Once you install the app and sync it with this, you actually do need to do it regardless, so that it's connected to the internet, because it does need 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi, because it is AI powered. It does need to connect to the internet to appropriately respond to the prompts you're putting in. So once you have the My Chechirp app installed and you've logged in, you have access to this library. So there's tons of stories. So let's go ahead and scroll through some of these stories, and let's see which one to play with. I've already gone through a couple of these just because I got really into it. This hippopotamus one I haven't tried, so let's try that one. You can see on my phone, it'll actually tell you what adventures I've already been on, so what stories I've already played. So I've played a couple of stories, I played around with a couple of stories. So on here, I'm going to just scroll through the different stories until I get to the hippopotamus story. So here it is, and then you're going to press this button. A scream shatters the silence of Nada Hotel in the middle of the night. Help! Help! You and Rabbit dash to room 101. That's the hippo's room. A bunch of half-asleep guests are already gathered outside. An elephant, a turtle, a chipmunk, and a fox. You push open the door and rush straight to the bathroom. Kai, look, what happened? So when it prompts you, you have to look at the screen, and there's usually an image accompanying it, and you can tell it what happened. So for example, here, the hippo's stuck in the bathtub. The hippo's stuck in the bathtub. Yay! Well done. You find out Mr. Hippo gets stuck in the bathtub. Mr. Hippo, what's going on? You ask. The hippo's face turns bright red. Don't ask. Just find a way to get me out. My legs are going numb. Okay, well, let's get you out of there. Can we pull you out? Pulling won't work. I'm too heavy. Think of something else. I need to get out before I turn into a hippo pancake. Can we push you out? Pushing? Oh no, I might get squished. What else can you come up with? I really need to wiggle free. Can we all help hold on to you, and you can pull yourself out? Yay, well done. You gather your friends, and together you all hold on to Mr. Hippo gently. He takes a deep breath and tries to pull himself up. With lots of effort and teamwork, he finally manages to climb out of the bathtub, splashing water everywhere. Hooray! The hippo sits on the bathroom floor, dripping with sweat. You quickly hand him a clean towel. He wipes his face, but hold up. Something's off. Kai, quick! Do you see it? Something's not right. What happened to the hippo? So if you look closely, there's some blood on the towel. Oh no, he's bleeding.
such sharp eyes. You take a closer look. The hippo is covered in blood. No, no, I'm not hurt, the hippo said. That's just my sweat. Hippo sweat is red. Whoa, that's crazy. You and Rabbit stare, totally amazed. The hippo grumbles. Hey, being stuck in the bathtub for so long, I'm really starving now. Can you get me some fresh grass? Rabbit blinks. It's 4 a.m. The hotel restaurant is closed. I'm a hippo. I'm a nocturnal animal. That's just how we roll. The hippo crosses his arms, looking annoyed. Rabbit leans in and whispers to you, what does nocturnal animal mean?
It means an animal that stays awake at night.
Wow, great job. You say, nocturnal animals stay awake at night. The rabbit widens its eyes and says, Kai, you are so knowledgeable. Sorry, Mr. Hippo. We didn't think about nocturnal guests before, you admit. But Rabbit and I will figure something out. The hippo grumbles. I'm so hungry. I feel like a big balloon ready to pop. How do you find some fresh water plants for me? Fast, please.
So you get the idea. The story, is different every time you do it. So actually, one of the stories I did it twice, and even when you give them the same prompt, the way they word the story is different every time because it is AI powered. It's not the same story. It's not the same script every time. So it does modify it every time. So it makes it a little different, allowing your kids to learn more words. And as you can see, the narration is really good. So they are pronouncing the words very clearly, and so it's going to allow your children to really hear the words in the correct way and hear different words every time they play a story, even if it's the same story. So there's this one, of course. I have more cards here as well. So the tail guard, and then there's the time machine, and all of these stories, um, cards, once you enter them, they appear on your app here as well, and you can see all the stories that are available. And of course, you can scroll through them on the device itself, and you can see there's 3 stories associated with this time machine. And they're all going to be very interactive. When you make the app and your account, you can actually select what your child is interested in as far as animals, let's say unicorns, whatever, and it'll actually throw in a little bit more of that kind of stuff that they're interested in or they like, which is all sort of AI powered. When you are playing a story, to pause and resume, you would use the power button. So you press that and it pauses
Out.
and plays again.
Fine.
Another thing is, while there is a screen, it's a very small screen and there's minimal interaction with the screen. Occasionally during the story, you look at the screen just to answer the prompt, and that's about it. The screen just shows a few pictures here and there, so it minimizes screen time and maximizes creativity, so your child has to do more thinking. A lot of the stories, for example, the main story in the Welcome to Nada world includes, for example, oh, where can you get a tail? And you named many different animals, and it'll actually tell you about those animals. So it won't just say, oh yeah, that animal doesn't have a tail or something like that. No, it'll say, oh, it uses its tail for this thing or that. So depending on what prompt you give them, they'll actually provide you more information about what you said. And of course, the stories themselves, while will give you feedback using AI, the stories are not AI made. So these are stories actually curated by their storytellers. And of course you have a general theme to the story that they've come up with, but the AI actually guides you through that process. So actually helps give you information and allows your imagination to customize the story a little bit, but the actual story has been curated by actual storytellers, so they're not AI created stories. The AI is only to modify the story depending on how you want to play that adventure. So if you don't want to play any of the stories that are included, there is a way to purchase subscriptions or purchase extra stories from Chechirp's website. If you have the subscription, you can actually go and have access to their full library during the period of the subscription. You can have a yearly subscription, monthly subscription, whichever you prefer. So let's go ahead and see how that works. So if you just go in there, for example, these are Aesop stories. Um, we're gonna try one of these second. Let's see. Okay, so let's go ahead and start that first story off.
Ugh, this jungle is so boring. You, the hungry fox, have been stumbling around for days. Your tummy is basically throwing a party of growls. You get the point. Then you look up. Wait, what's that? Kai, look over there. What's that?
I see grapes.
Yippee! You have got eagle eyes. It was grapes. You shout with excitement. The grapes look so juicy and delicious. They are hanging high on the vine. You stretch out your paws, but the vine is way too high. You can't reach them at all. You try jumping, but nope, still not even close. You leap with all your might. Well, you reach still nowhere near those grapes. Kai, you are so hungry. You really, really want those grapes, but why are they so high? How on earth are you going to reach them?
Maybe if I climb onto something.
Bravo! You tackled that challenge like a pro. You look around and see a sturdy box. You decide to climb on top of it. Carefully, you reach up, stretching your fingers toward the grapes hanging tantalizingly above you. Ah, these grapes are so sweet. Only a super smart fox like me can get these delicious grapes, you say, munching happily. Full and content, you leave with a satisfied belly. Awesome! You've uncovered the full adventure.
So, for example, that story is the one with the fox and sour grapes. So, if you didn't give an option where a good option for the fox to get to the grapes, then eventually the fox will decide the grapes are sour and leave. Of course, I was able to give him a good option, um, but it kind of makes your child think of different things, different ways for them
You're a little
to
monkey living in the forest.
solve a
While
problem.
playing around, you accidentally wandered into a cornfield. The corn is huge and so full. It's the biggest, juiciest corn you've ever seen. You're so excited and end up picking a whole bunch of corn, your hands full to the brim. You're happily walking forward, corn in hand, when you stumble upon a watermelon patch. Oh, sweet, juicy watermelons. Your favorite treat. Kai, the watermelons look even more tempting than the corn, but your hands are already full with all that corn. If you want the watermelon, you'll have to drop the corn. So which will it be, watermelon or corn? What's your choice?
I'll take the watermelon.
Woohoo! Great choice. You decide to drop the corn. With a big smile, you let the corn fall to the ground. You run to the field where the watermelons are shining bright in the sun. Your heart races with excitement as you reach out for the biggest, juiciest watermelon. Yum! But that watermelon was so heavy. He-shoo, he-shoo. Your arms were aching from holding it for so long. After some time, you stumbled into a beautiful sunflower field. Wow! Maybe it's time to take a break. Put the watermelon down for a bit and play in the flowers. You could always come back for it later. Kai, you're so tired. How about putting the watermelon down and having some fun in the sunflower field for a while?
No, I don't want to delay my watermelon eating.
Yay! Well done. You hold your delicious watermelon tightly, saying, "No, I don't want to. I want to eat my watermelon." The bright sunflowers wave in the breeze, calling you to come and play, but your focus stays on the tasty treat in your hands. The fun in the flower field looks so inviting, but that watermelon is just too good to put down. It was tough, but just a little more to go. He-shoo, he-shoo, he-shoo. You finally made it home, holding that huge watermelon with all your might. Monkey Mom and Monkey Dad were so amazed by your strength. They looked at you and said, "Wow, you raised such a hard-working little monkey."
There you go.
Awesome.
Of
You
course,
like
I could
covered
have
the
played
full
it either
adventure.
way. I could have said
Do
that
you
I
like
want
to add
to
this
drop the
interactive story to your
watermelon or I want to
adventure?
keep the corn, sunflower, and it will play it a different way either way. So, yeah, it's pretty interactive. It's pretty fun. The packaging, very sustainable, no tape or anything like that. It was just a peel, something you would see out of like a company like Apple, actually, which is really nice. I really dislike opening up, having a knife to open up a box. You know, there's tape everywhere now. So this is very sustainable packaging, as you can see. Um, Comes with a little USB-C charging cable as well. The device is nice and sturdy, feels really sturdy in your hand. There's just these two knobs. One's for the volume as well as cancel. This one's to select and to turn the knob to select different things and click it to select the actual item. And then the mic button, press and then talk and then press again to stop the talking. And then there's a headphone jack too, so then your child's not disturbing the entire town. So you put the headphone jack on if say you're working and they're playing with the toy. And then the USB-C port is on the side here. So I would definitely recommend this. It's actually quite fun, even for me. So I'm sure it's going to be really a blast for any children who's interested in stories and adventure and storytelling themselves and guiding their own adventures. So yeah, I definitely recommend this product. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed and found this video helpful. I'll see you in the next one.